In Japan, VR game genres have reached a level of sophistication like living in the real world, and the NPCs are also super AIs that react like real people. The main character of the story is Hiroshi Yuki, a young man who has no direction for the future, and is trying to escape his boring real world, so Hiroshi is often immersed in gaming. Today, Hiroshi was stopped by bullies to take all his money, so he didn't have enough money to buy the latest game that was just released. Hiroshi ran to find another store with cheaper prices and he found a tattered shop run by a beautiful girl named Riona. Was about to ask to buy the latest game, when she tricked him into buying another game and kept the money in the closet. According to the store's rules, the game cannot be returned, so Hiroshi brought the game back and discovered that the game was released 10 years ago. But now there was nothing to play, so Hiroshi had to accept to play, and suddenly changed the game from 10 years ago with beautiful lifelike graphics. Even stumbling on a chair felt pain in his feet. Hiroshi's character has two childhood friends, a girl named Alicia and her brother named Martin. Hiroshi's first mission was to leave the city, but when he learned about Hiroshi's purpose, the Alicia brothers panicked and stopped him. They explained that, around the city was surrounded by a swarm of deadly monsters, so the city government had ordered that no people were allowed to go outside. But Hiroshi was still determined to go out, so Martin punched Hiroshi once to wake him up. Playing the game, but the quest was not done, so Hiroshi angrily pushed Martin down, causing him to accidentally pierce his own knife to death. Seeing her brother's death, Alicia's expression also suddenly changed, so Hiroshi quickly escaped in her pursuit. Entering the city, Hiroshi met Riona in the form of a fairy, and she was his guide in this game. She was shocked after writing that Hiroshi caused his best friend's death instead of recruiting them into his hero party, and he was subsequently given the title of Best Friend Killer. Hiroshi is currently being searched by everyone in the city for murder, so he has to go find a cloak to disguise himself, but the shop owner forces him to buy the shirt at a very high price because he knows he is wanted. Since this VR game cannot be played from the beginning, Riona asked Hiroshi to find the help of another player who also killed his best friend, Ginji. Suddenly Alicia appeared beside her, and she looked like a bloodthirsty demon. According to Riona, Alicia is a very fast NPC with extremely skilled knife skills, and she is currently trying to cut Hiroshi's details. Hiroshi tried to run away from Alicia's pursuit, but he was still slashed in the arm by Alicia and realized that his wound really hurt. Since the NPCs couldn't see Riona, she attacked Alicia's eyes to help Hiroshi log out of the game. The next day, logging into the game again, Hiroshi met Jinja, the other best friend killer Riona mentioned, and he helped Hiroshi heal the wound on his arm. Ginji has been playing this game for 10 years and still can't beat it, and said that the game simulates the player's real health in real life, so he advised Hiroshi to work hard on his master. Dear. Then, when he learned that Hiroshi had stabbed his best friend to death, he immediately called the guard to take him away. Ginji says, "If you want to live, never admit that you stabbed Martin to death, or else you will receive an extremely painful sentence." While in prison, Martin's ghost appeared to haunt Hiroshi, scaring him. Hearing Hiroshi screaming in the prison, a guard girl named Mizurisa unlocked the door for him and took him to another room. Was thinking about doing it in this VR game with an NPC girl, but it turned out that she was going to torture him with her saw. Riona also appeared shortly after, but there was nothing she could do but cheer for him. When Mizurisa was about to be tortured, Hiroshi suddenly peed his pants out of fear, much to her amusement. Thanks to his bedwetting, he changed the story. And right after that, a promoter ran over to announce that Hydrogen was innocent and asked Mizurisa to release him. Too humiliating, Hiroshi immediately exited the game and decided never to touch the game again. Previously, Hiroshi was also a famous track and field athlete in the school, admired by the girls and friends in the school. But one time, he tripped while running and peed his pants in front of thousands of spectators, so he had to make everyone laugh. Since that accident, Hiroshi has given up playing sports and his life has also gone downhill. When she went to school, she was bullied by her friends. When she got home, her sister was also shunned because she only locked herself in her room to play games all day. Hiroshi had given that crappy game back to Riona. But before that, Riona wanted to tell him about the only person who could complete the game. That person is a local politician named Kamui, and he has a website with instructions on how to crack the game. In the video, he shows how to defeat Alicia without fighting, and how to earn weapons and items for new players. While watching the video, Riona suddenly hugs Hiroshi and tells him that she will marry anyone who can clear the game. Seeing that, Hiroshi logged back into the game, and he would continue the story in Mizurisa's torture chamber. Hiroshi was immediately led by a warden named Amos to meet Commander Tesla, who commands all of the soldiers in this castle. Tesla treated Hiroshi to a meal and declared him innocent, because after the investigation, they concluded that Martin's death was due to a rare accident. Even so, the villagers still didn't believe Hiroshi, so they chased him away, and Alicia still followed him to avenge his brother. Currently in need of money but can't go on a mission, so Hiroshi has no choice but to go to old Ginji to borrow money. But money could not be borrowed, and he insulted Hiroshi, so he fought with him and defeated him thanks to his quickness. After being threatened by Riona, Ginji had to give money to Hiroshi because he was the loser. And then, Hiroshi has a new title for himself, that is the old man's best friend killer. To deal with Alicia, Hiroshi decided to buy some smoke, but he was forced to buy the goods at exorbitant prices, or else he would be beaten. Following Kamui's instructions, he returned to his original home to retrieve his sword, but Alicia was already waiting here to raid him. Hiroshi used a smoke bomb to deal with Alicia, but this was a VR game, so he had to light a smoke bomb before using it. When Alicia was about to attack Hiroshi, Mizurisa rushed in from outside to save him. It turned out that she really liked the smell of Hiroshi's urine, so she sniffed and followed him. Alicia and Mizurisa had a battle with each other, but Alicia had very fast movement speed, so she was able to defeat Mizurisa. Thinking carefully about Kamui's words, Hiroshi stopped Alicia by confessing his feelings to her, and it turned out that Alicia also loved Hiroshi very much because the two had been friends since childhood, but he was causing her brother's death. After Alicia left, Hiroshi rethinks his actions, and he blames himself for always seeing this world as just the world, while the Alicia brothers have always considered him a close friend since childhood. Young. According to the plot, Hiroshi and Martin used to be sworn brothers at the top of the tree in the village, so Hiroshi ran out there to meet his ghost. And after Hiroshi sincerely apologized to him, Martin's ghost returned to normal and disappeared into the afterlife. After that, Hiroshi's title changed to Great Buddy Killer. After solving the problem of the two brothers Martin and Alicia, Hiroshi took his rusty sword to the curtain shop for repair, but right now the city was attacked by monsters. Realizing his moment to shine had come, Hiroshi was about to go out to defeat the monsters, but Riona stopped him because he was only going out there to take a beating. She also told him that, if he died in the game, his console would break immediately, and that's why no one dared to play the game. Hiroshi doesn't want his expensive game console to break, so he decides to log out at this point. But suddenly he sees a monster about to attack a little girl. Guards later appeared to protect the girl, but they were quickly sent off by the monster to the afterlife. With no other choice, Hiroshi had to rush to save the girl despite Riona's prevention, and in the situation of thousands of pounds hanging by a hair, Hiroshi unleashed his super fast running skills to rescue her. Just when the monsters were about to attack the two of them, Tesla appeared and destroyed them with a single move. And according to Riona, Tesla is one of the strongest NPC at the beginning of the game. When everything was safe, Tesla asked Hiroshi to join the city defense team, and he immediately agreed and was out of the game. Later, Hiroshi reviewed Kamui's instructions and learned that joining Tesla's forces was an extremely bad choice, and his survival rate was only 0.1%, which means no 99.9% of you will have to say goodbye to your console. Even so, Hiroshi is still determined to clear this game and continue in the game. Hiroshi was brought by Tesla to meet Queen Govern, the ruler of this city. She ran over and hugged Hiroshi, and he loved it. When they arrived at the training camp, Tesla introduced Hiroshi and two other recruits to everyone, and the big rookie was named Granada, and the small one was named Palu. A girl named Kathy has come to befriend Hiroshi, and she admires him after learning that he cut a little girl from monsters. Hiroshi's trainers are the guards Amos, who arrested him for the murder of Martin. After a test match with him, Hiroshi was beaten to death and realized that his body was as weak as in real life. Because of that defeat, the other soldiers quickly shunned him because he was too weak. That night, Hiroshi decided not to log out, but to sleep in the game again. It's only a pity that Riona is in this tiny form, otherwise it would be fun to know. The real difficulty began the next morning. Amos forced Hiroshi to train on his own, after which he was bullied by Granada and Palu for killing his best friend and being a weakling. But fortunately Kathy offered to train with him, and then she showed him some basic sword strokes. On the third day, Hiroshi lost a duel against Granada and was mocked by them. At this time, he suddenly realized that he was not only bullied in real life, but also bullied in the game. Desperate at his wretched fate, Hiroshi went to the counseling room after taking advice from Riona. But the mentor criticized him that, if he didn't know how to fight, he had to refuse Tesla's offer immediately. From the beginning, Kathy had directed Hiroshi to the church to pray, but the nun there only poured him a basin of holy water. On the fourth day, Hiroshi was paired solo with Palu. Thinking that this whistle might be easier to eat than Granada, who expected Hiroshi to be so weak that Palu beat him to death. The two bullies then threatened Kathy that if she continued to be friends with Hiroshi they would beat her up like him, so Kathy had to refuse to be friends with Hiroshi. The next day, someone threw Granada's shoes down the drain, then shoved his sword straight into the latrine. Not stopping there, people also found the nurse's underwear in his pocket. After that incident, everyone thought Granada was a disgusting guy, so they quickly shunned him. Even his best friend Palu boycotted him. He caused Granada to withdraw from the security team. City. Tesla then went to the barracks to say that he had received a letter accusing Amos of harming Granada, and that he was an irresponsible person in educating people. Amos was later removed from his position, and Kathy and the others also apologized to Hiroshi for alienating him. That night, Hiroshi learns that the tricks of the morning were contrived by one of Riona's hands to help him. Riona revealed to Hiroshi that, when she was a player in the game, she once confessed to Kamui because of his coolness, but was rejected. Because of that, Riona wants to marry someone who can break this game to get revenge on Kamui. The next morning, Tesla then announced that Mizurisa and Alicia would be Hiroshi's new teammates. Entering the city, they discovered a group of people taking advantage of the chaos to plunder, and the leader of them was Ginji. Hiroshi suggested to the two of them to let him solo with him, but Alicia got rid of him quickly, and she caught all of his bandits. The monsters attacked the city again, but Hiroshi suddenly had a stomachache, so he had to go to the toilet to deal with his business. While everyone was fighting to the death outside, he noticed a monster sitting on the roof staring at him ever since. Fortunately, Mizurisa appeared in time and cut the monster in half to save him. It turned out that she had been following Hiroshi since he entered the latrine, because she still wanted to torture him one more time. The monsters were so strong that the city's soldiers were easily cut down by them. But thanks to the presence of Mizurisa and Alicia, they were able to defeat them. Shortly after, the one-eyed monster boss attacked the govern's castle, and Tesla rushed out to fight it. Knowing that it was not easy to defeat the monster boss, Tesla used a number of prison monsters to distract it, so he defeated it. After observing the monsters in the cage for a while, Hiroshi realized that these monsters had been abducted a long time ago by Tesla, and that the monster boss was the father of the other monsters, so he came here. Rescue its children. Because it was exposed, Tesla had to admit that the monster was an intelligent and peace-loving species. They only really attack humans if provoked, but Tesla and Govern want to take advantage of that to make people afraid of monsters and forever rule them in this castle. At this point, Hiroshi realized that the final boss he had to deal with was Tesla. To cover up the clue, Tesla used a move to eliminate Hiroshi, but Alicia rushed out to block the attack for him. In her dying breath, Alicia said she had forgiven him, and that she was so happy after Hiroshi's previous confession, that she stopped breathing. Angered by the death of his childhood friend, Hiroshi unleashed his powers and easily parried Tesla's flash attack. Realizing he had an advantage, Hiroshi frantically attacked Tesla, leaving him breathless. But because he refused to recharge, his sword was broken when it crashed into Tesla's recharge shirt. Just as Tesla was about to attack him, Martin's spirit appeared and turned Hiroshi's sword into a magic sword. Hiroshi decided to deliver one final blow to finish Tesla, but the Govern woman got down on his knees from behind, so he was defeated by Tesla. Because of his defeat against Tesla, his game console was also evaporated. When he was depressed, Hiroshi found a new tutorial from Kamui, and he learned how to continue the game after being defeated, which is to get a new controller and then read a code provided by Kamui. Knowing that he would be resurrected before Alicia was killed, Hiroshi decided to spend a month training himself. Hiroshi has begun to change his life for the better. He has reunited with his friends, and has stood up against his bullies for so long. A month later, Riona lent Hiroshi a new game console, and he started playing the game again. Thank you for watching all the video review about this anime. I will leave the other videos of the channel here, and don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell button to receive notifications about the latest videos.